Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So today we're going to be talking about our feelings. So all the feels. Today we're going to explore some different emotions and learn how we can identify and express those feelings. And then also I want to give us some tools so that we can deal with some of those feelings. Um, and so let's start with our essential question, which is going to be, how do you express your feelings? So, if you'll put in the comments for me, how do you express your feelings? When you're feeling a certain way, how do you let others around you know how you're feeling? Do you express your feelings? Some people don't always express their feelings. Uh, Miss Shakia said she's feeling okay. She's not super happy or sad, just kind of in between. And she used a little emoji, which is perfect. She used an emoji to describe how she's feeling, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, Miss Shakia. So thank you for using that emoji. So some ways that I express my emotions. Sometimes I will talk to somebody, or sometimes I tend to keep my emotions to myself. Um, but also sometimes my feelings are written all over my face, and people can tell without me saying anything. And we'll talk a little bit about that later. Leah, what are some ways that you express your feelings?
Um, Talking to someone, also having time to myself.
Time to yourself. Yeah. Sometimes we need that time to ourselves to um, really investigate how we're feeling and what we can do to change it or make it better. All right, let's see. Do we have anybody else that wants to share how they express their feelings? All right, so we're going to talk about um, good and bad feelings. So feelings can be positive and make you feel good, or they can be negative and upsetting. But okay, there's no right or wrong when it comes to feelings. They just are what they are. Miss Shakia says, when it comes to my emotions, a lot of times you can tell how I'm feeling by my face and body language. I'm not big on communicating them unless I'm really close to you because I tend to cry if it's something serious. Thank you for sharing that, Jakia. I know sometimes it can be difficult to share our emotions, and in a lot of ways, I think people deal with their emotions by not talking about it. And sometimes we learn at a young age that um, like when we're kids, sometimes we're told not to cry or stop crying, and that can be because we maybe don't understand what we're feeling. But as we get older, we learn tools and we can learn how to express those emotions in a positive way, even if they're negative emotions. All right, thank you, Miss Shakia. So I want to ask you guys, which we've kind of touched on this, but can you tell how someone is feeling by the way that they act? Um, and is it good to show your feelings? So, do you think it's good to show your feelings?
Yes, because then other people can help you,
Okay.
depending on what you're feeling, if you need it.
If you need it. So, if you need help, it can help if you express your emotions. Okay. So, you don't think we should keep our feelings to ourselves?
Well, it depends on what it is. If it's like, but most of the time you should share it.
Most of the time, you should share your feelings. Okay. I think, like what you said earlier, sometimes we keep our emotions to ourselves. Sometimes we need time by ourselves to deal with those emotions and even figure out how we're feeling. But once we know how we're feeling, if we don't know how to help ourselves or fix whatever the issue is that's making us feel that way, then sometimes we need to seek out help and get help from someone we trust. Mr. Kadim says, it can be good to show your feelings and bad depending on the situation. So I think we're all kind of in the same boat. Ms. Shakia says, yes, you can completely tell, but when it comes to expressing feelings, it depends on the place. That's true, Ms. Shakia. Thank you for bringing up that point. There is a time and place for everything, right? So if we are at work, if I'm at work and I'm with a bunch of kiddos and I'm feeling sad, it's probably not the best time for me to cry, or I probably shouldn't tell all the kiddos why I'm sad. There is definitely a time and place for everything. Miss Heather says not always. Sometimes they don't know how to express them the right way. That's true. And so we're going to talk about that and what are some things we can do to try to express our emotions. Okay, so I've got a few things here. The first thing I've got is, this is for, okay, one second. We have Heather. She said she cleans when she's upset. I don't always talk about it. That's interesting, Miss Heather, because I've heard that a lot, and I actually tend to do that too. I get my best cleaning done when I'm kind of upset. Mr. Guerin says, emojis help if you don't have time for a long message. That's true, Mr. Guerin, and thank you again for bringing up the emojis, because we're going to talk about that in just a minute. So I know we have a lot of adults on right now, but this can be good for our kiddos as well. If we have any parents watching, I want you guys to try and take some of this back with you to help your kiddos. So I want to talk about what I have right here is called a feelings chart. And this is just one that I found online. You can find them online or you can make your own. And we're going to make one here in just a minute. But basically what you can do is, this is mainly for little kiddos who may not know how to express what they're feeling. So this just says, how are you feeling? And then it's got some pictures over to the side for those kiddos that can't quite read yet. And up here, I hope you guys can see this. I know it's a little dark. It says, ready to explode, angry, annoyed, okay, and great. And you can make these based off of your own personal feelings too. You can use different words to describe how you're feeling. But basically, if I was using this at the club, I would have a kiddo who maybe doesn't know how to express their feelings, or maybe they're not great at telling me how they feel. I would have them use this little tool, and it's just an arrow, and it says, I feel, and have them kind of show me where they're feeling so we can start to solve the issue. But sometimes we have to take a step before we can even get there. Sometimes we have kiddos, or even ourselves, we're not feeling ready to talk. Sometimes we're not ready to talk yet. Sometimes we're not ready to fix the problem. So first we have to calm down. So here's a few steps just to help you calm down, and this can be for adults or for our kiddos. So first, we can sit down in a comfortable position or sit on a comfy chair at the club. Sometimes I have bean bags, or there's a bench that the kiddos like, so they can sit in a comfortable position or on a comfy chair. And then the next thing you can do is close your eyes, and we can focus on breathing, counting to 10 in our head, or thinking about something that makes us happy or something that we're looking forward to. After that, we can think about what happened and begin to ask why we needed to take a break and what can we do next time. After we have calmed down, we can begin to have a discussion about why we felt that way and what the solutions could be. So, I also have some little cards here. Like I said, these can be good for adults or kiddos, and we'll try a few of these out here in just a second. Sometimes when we're feeling a certain way, it just is best if we are feeling angry or annoyed or frustrated or sad. Sometimes it's best just to get our mind off of it for a little bit. So sometimes we have to distract ourselves in order to get away from the situation, calm down, and then begin to deal with the issue. So for our little kiddos, I've got some cards here. And basically, these are things they can look through and pick what they want to do to distract themselves, or you could just draw randomly if that's something they would like to do. In my club, I do have like a calm down corner that has all of these things in it. So the kiddos, like when they're feeling upset, they like to go there and calm themselves down before they address the issue. And you don't always have to do that. Sometimes you're ready to talk, but sometimes you're not. And so that's when this would come into play. So we've got different cards. These actually have little pictures on them. So like I said before, these are going to be better for our kiddos that aren't great at reading yet. And they're just fun too. So, you know, you can print these out in color, or just you can make your own, or you could just leave them how they are. And then we've got the same ones, but these are just words. So these could be for our older ones or yourself. So let's say that we're feeling overwhelmed. Sometimes when we feel overwhelmed, like I said before, we just need to distract ourselves and get a break, right? Okay, so Leah's been doing schoolwork all day, so I don't know how you're feeling about the schoolwork, but you know, maybe you could be a little overwhelmed, right? So we are going to try one of these out. Let's see. Do you want to draw one, or you want to pick one randomly, or you want to pick a certain one? Okay, Leah wants to pick a specific one. If you guys have any suggestions on what we should try, let me know. I've got a few different ones. I've got count to 10 in your head. We've got cuddle a soft toy or pillow. Drink some water. Think about something that you're looking forward to. Or draw a picture. There's all different kinds. So what do you think? Which one we could try right now?
We could think about something that makes you happy.
Okay, so let's think about something that makes us happy. And I want you guys to put in the comments, what is something that makes you happy? Okay, so it can be either something that makes you happy or something you're looking forward to. Okay, so I'm going to give us all 30 seconds. Let's think about it. And Miss Heather just gave us a suggestion on something we could do. We could take a deep breath, which is something I've been feeling like I needed to do a lot today. And with that, we can focus on our breathing. All right, so we've got some answers rolling in. Let's see. Okay, so something that makes you happy. Miss Shakia said, cooking makes me happy. All right, Miss Shakia, what are have you tried out any new recipes while you've been at home? Or is there anything that you like to cook more than others? Leah, so you chose something that makes you happy. What's something that makes you happy?
Dance makes me happy.
Okay, Leah said dance makes her happy. So Leah is a dancer. She loves to dance. And I'm sure that can help you if you're feeling a certain way. I'm sure dance can also be an outlet for you. Okay, let's see. Miss Heather says, my family makes me happy most of the time. That's good, Miss Heather. I'm sure you're getting to spend a lot of time with them right now. Miss Abby says, cleaning makes me happy. I'm a little weird. That's okay, Miss Abby. I was going to say a clean house also makes me happy. Sometimes I don't actually like doing the cleaning, but I do like when it's clean. All right, so maybe I'll do something I'm looking forward to. Okay, I am looking forward to all of this being over and getting to see my kiddos again, hopefully, and having a great summer. That's what I'm looking forward to. Ms. Shakia says, yes, you know I love Pinterest. I've made shrimp tacos and vegetarian pasta. Very cool, vegetarian pasta. That sounds good. Mr. Kadeem said, I'm not saying to be an emotional eater, but food makes me happy. I was just thinking about that, Kadeem. I don't want to promote being an emotional eater, but food also makes me happy. Miss Heather said, Miss Abby, cleaning makes me happy too, and food and sleep. So we've got some clean houses, some food. Okay. Miss Abby says, I love everything about cleaning. Laundry, no. Food too. Okay. Thank you, Miss Abby. All right, guys. So these are some different things you can try out. Just a few that are here is talk to a friend. Ooh, this is a good one. Do some exercises. Awesome to do exercises, get those endorphins going. Talk to your teacher, talk to an adult, right? So after we have distracted ourselves, something we can do is talk about it, figure out what we can do. And sometimes, and we have to remember, if somebody comes to us with some feelings, or they're feeling a certain way, sometimes people just need to talk about it. And we have to be good listeners and just sit back and let them talk. And then if we can ask if they would like some advice on solutions. But sometimes people may just want to vent, and that could be good for them, and then they're good. But sometimes people might want some advice or some ideas of what they could do to make themselves not feel that way anymore. All right. Also, something really good for our kiddos is building blocks or doing Legos. If they're feeling overwhelmed or frustrated, it's really good to get them moving and doing something that's going to distract them. Okay. We said focus on breathing in and out. Another really good one for kiddos is like having Play-Doh or a stress ball. Again, something that gets their hands moving, gets them not thinking about it so much. Okay. All right, so those are some examples. If you have any questions about that, Miss Heather said music also helps. Absolutely, Miss Heather. Sometimes we can listen to a song that will make us feel happy, and that'll help us start to change our mood. But also, if you're feeling sad and you listen to a sad song, sometimes you just need to sit with that sadness for a minute before we can, start to fix it, and that's okay. We listen to a sad song, we feel all the feels, and then we move on. Okay, so we just have a few minutes left together, but I want to talk about some feeling charts. So I showed you guys this one, and this is just kind of a pretty plain one, but we can all create our own feelings chart. So I've got a few different examples. You can create it however you would like. This can be for your kiddos, it can be for you, it could be something that you journal, but it's just to help us kind of keep track of how we're feeling, or help our kiddos to let us know how they're feeling if they're not quite sure how to express that. So something simple that you can do is you can make one that's just like this, where it's just got a few different things here, and you can use an arrow or your finger to point to how you're feeling. That would be something super simple. Or we can do a chart based on the days of the week. I know these look a little interesting, but here we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And this would be something, if you're going to do it with kids, I would let them have a part in creating this, because they're going to feel like they have more ownership over it and it's theirs. So they're gonna be more likely to use it if they create it, or at least have a hand in creating it, picking out the colors, whatever it's going to be. If you wanted to get super fancy, you could do this online, and you could make a little sheet on the computer, and you could do emojis at the top up here, and then what they would do is on Monday they could say, oh, I'm feeling happy, I'm going to put a check mark there, or I'm feeling sad, and then you could have them write why, or you could just have them do the check mark, and then you could talk about it later on. Miss Heather said she has a student that used Legos to calm them. Yes, Miss Heather. I've also had students use Legos, and it really helps to just get their mind off of it. So Leah did this one. Again, it's just a simple one where you could point the finger, or if you wanted to, you could make one like this that was just the emojis, and they could point their finger or do a check mark or whatever they wanted to do. Okay, so we have talked about some different feelings. We have started to talk about how we can express them. And we've also talked about some different tools we can use if we're feeling a certain way, if we're feeling upset or having some negative feelings. What are some ways we can calm down to then be able to talk about those feelings. So now I just want to have a little bit of reflection time. So I want you guys in the comments to tell me what your favorite thing to do is when you're feeling, or what is something you do when you're feeling sad. And then maybe what is something you heard today that you're going to try out when you're kind of having some of those negative feelings. So again, that is something that you do when you have negative feelings, and then something you're going to try out that we talked about today. So Leah, what is something that we kind of talked about that you think you can try?
I think I can try to talk to people more.
Try to talk to people more. Okay. And I would encourage everybody, it is good. Of course, we talked about there's a time and a place for everything. During, while I'm in a meeting is probably not the best time for me to start expressing my feelings. But, if I'm feeling a certain way, then I can find a good time to talk to someone about that. Thank you for that, Leah. All right, let's get one person. Okay, I think something I'm going to try is thinking about something I'm looking forward to. Okay, Miss Heather said, I sleep or clean. I may try to actually talk to someone about it. Thank you for that, Heather. Yeah, sometimes when we're feeling a certain way, we just feel like we need to take a nap or sleep it off. But sometimes in order for us to really deal with those feelings, we have to talk to someone about it. And I think it's good to teach our young people that it's okay for them to express their feelings and talk about them. Of course, like we've been saying, there's a time and place, and it's okay for us to teach them what those time and places are, and who it would be okay for them to talk to about those feelings. All right, everyone, thank you so much for your participation today, and thank you for listening. I know sometimes we don't have the most fun, but I hope that you guys will appreciate some of these more difficult topics that we have to talk about sometimes. If Mr. Kadeem is going to be coming on in just a couple minutes, and last week he did an awesome job talking about chivalry and some ways that we can keep that alive for our young people. So I would encourage all of you to pop over there once he comes on in a few minutes and give him some likes, interact with him, and answer some questions. Thank you guys so much. Again, thank you, Leah, for being in my live. And I hope you all have a wonderful day and have lots of good feelings. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.